Thanks for staying with us at 1:30. Tonight, we turn our attention to Soho, or south of Houston. Almost the entire neighborhood is considered a National Historic Landmark with its sprawling cobblestone streets and cast iron buildings. But over the last 20 years or so, the trendy neighborhood in Lower Manhattan has seen major changes, becoming a popular tourist destination known for its trendy shops and boutiques. Well, tonight residents are up in arms as the city presents its controversial plan to rezone the area. Locals calling it a no-go. Tonight, Angie Gonzalez is live in Soho with more. Angie.
Yeah, Cheryl, that plan has actually been in the works for some time, so you might expect people not to be so passionate about it. That was certainly not the case. They were very passionate about their opinions. They say this is a matter of them being able to stay in the neighborhood that they've called home for decades. They didn't have to say a word. Many of the roughly 200 community members who showed up for this hearing brought signs, but many still spoke their mind even before the public comment period began. And the uproar continued over and over during the presentation by the New York City Department of City Planning on a proposal to rezone Soho and NoHo in Lower Manhattan. This was the first opportunity for community members to speak out about the plan in person since the pandemic began. Several attendees told us just prior to the meeting they wanted to make it clear they do not support the proposal.
The plan that's being put forward by the de Blasio administration really does not guarantee any amount of affordable housing.
But the city maintains that's exactly what the proposal aims to do, saying that one of their goals is to establish more affordable housing in a neighborhood that's among the most expensive and least diverse in the city. They also maintain they are still open to continued community input on the plan.
This is part of the public process. We're here to hear it all. We're here to hear opinions, questions, input, and we welcome it.
But opponents came prepared and gathered a half hour before the meeting for a press conference to highlight their concerns and get as many people as possible to attend the CB2 meeting.
We think it's a sham. We think it's a terrible idea, not just for the neighborhoods, but for New York City. And we want to urge the community board and all of our elected officials and city leaders to oppose it.
A major point of contention is the implication that all residents are ultra wealthy. While city data found more than 40% of residents do make more than $200,000 a year, there's still roughly 60% who do not. One of them is Harry Pincus, an artist who moved here decades ago. He addressed Mayor de Blasio directly in our interview.
He has the temerity, the nerve to tell me that my family, my children, can't live in the house that I struggled for 46 years. I sanded those floors 3 times. I painted them 5 times.
Community members also say they were not a part of the proposal currently being presented and say that the plan, as is, would benefit developers more than anyone. The city maintains that is not the goal.
Starting in 2019, we had a very intensive public engagement process, 6 months of meetings, charrettes, workshops, and a report was developed out of that, and that was also shared with the public.
And Cheryl, there is going to be a second public hearing. However, that hearing is actually going to be done via Zoom for those who could not attend today's in-person meeting. It's going to be held tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Cheryl?
Angie Gonzalez in Soho, where emotions are running high tonight.